Why is it better not to disturb a wolf spider? Should we be wary of marine arthropods? And what does a spider that never loses its hide and seek look like? Now you'll find out and see everything. In this video, I'll show you spider moments that you shouldn't watch alone, and also tell you about the most unusual and record-breaking spiders on the planet. Let's go. Sea spiders. If you think that hiding from spiders in the water is a good idea, think again. Mother Nature has created sea spiders that have adapted to aquatic environments. There are over 1,200 species of sea spiders, each with unique characteristics and behaviors. In shallow waters, you'll encounter small and simple sea spiders that won't surprise you. However, if you venture into deeper waters, you'll find the most interesting species. Some species can grow up to 20 inches long, which is quite impressive. Despite their size, sea spiders have a unique body structure that makes them different from land spiders. They have nothing but legs, which has given rise to some strange phenomena. Their intestines extend all the way down their legs, and they can digest food in their limbs. Sea spiders also breathe through their legs, using a special hole at the end of each limb. Their hemilymph, which is enriched with oxygen, circulates through their bodies thanks to the contraction of the intestine in the legs. Fortunately, sea spiders don't attack humans, so you don't need to worry about being swallowed by a giant spider with its legs like in a sci-fi movie. Cellar Spider. The appearance of these creatures is familiar to everyone. A small body and giant thin legs. In some individuals, their span reaches 2 inches. It's 20 times larger than the body. You can encounter these creatures almost anywhere in many caves, some burrows in general, where there's less light and more moisture. Oh yes, how could I forget about their main and most favorite hiding place, a human house? These long-legged creatures have become the eternal companions of humans, and with us, they've spread all over the world. It's up to you to decide whether this is good or bad. On the one hand, an increase in the population of these spider families doesn't arthropods. The cellar spider often preys on its congeners, driving them to their own homes and ramping them up in huge webs. These spiders often kill their own population, but only in cases when they're very hungry. Most often, spiders solve all conflicts in a gentlemanly way, by a duel. The main rule of such fights is no bites and no use of cobwebs. Kinder surprise. Wolf spiders are one of the most undesirable arthropods in the world. There are over 2,000 species of wolf spiders, and all of them are incredibly eerie. For instance, when it comes to reproduction, the mother never leaves her babies alone. After hatching, the spiderlings immediately climb onto their mother's back and hang down their legs. The first hatchling leaves a web from the cocoon to the mother's back, on which all the others climb. Until the spiderlings molt, they do not come down to the ground and do not give their mother peace. Although this family relationship might seem exemplary, it's not entirely the case. When the spiders grow up, they leave their mother for good, even though the mother loses up to 30% of her body weight caring for them under the sun. That's how tough the spiderlings are, so it's better not to touch them. Nightmare. It seems to me that many people have allowed for the possibility of being attacked while sleeping. Mosquitoes, some imaginary monsters if we're talking about children, or spiders if we're talking about adults. That's why I'm not in a hurry to go camping. I don't know what kind of forest monster is going to come down from the trees in the middle of the night. Wait a minute. It seems even at home it's not always safe. In this video, a little girl was resting peacefully in her bed and enjoying her sleep while a giant and terrifying spider hung right over her head. This terrible arthropod descended to the little girl on its tenacious and strong cobweb, and I already thought that's it. Something terrible is about to happen, but luckily, everything turned out well, and the girl remained unharmed. I hope that her parents will not show her this footage, or she can get arachnophobia for life. New neighbor. After hearing the story about the little girl, it is advisable to check your apartment for any uninvited guests. Clean your space thoroughly to ensure that you are not sharing your house with any unwanted beings. It is possible to find yourself living with new friends, just like the people in the video. However, it is important to note that it can be a daunting task to drive them away, and it is not advisable to resort to killing them. We have been taught that since childhood, So, what other options are there? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Took in. Children usually ask their parents for a cat or dog. When they grow up, if their wish was not fulfilled, some may take in a stray animal right from the street. And if some parents react negatively to this, then you know it's better to do it this way than it was in this story. An Australian man noticed a giant huntsman spider settling in his home, and instead of calling a service or dealing with the problem personally, the man left it with him. The spider was given the name Charlotte and watched for over a year. During that time, the arthropod grew up to an incredible size. According to the man's loved ones, they find comfort in the fact that Charlotte feeds on all the cockroaches and other nasty things that are very undesirable in the house. Now it's lies here. Sometimes it's better to just accept your circumstances. In contrast to the venomous spider from the previous story, this arthropod friend is harmless. It randomly appeared in someone's house and no one called for it, but people began to panic incredibly because of it. Now they have a tiny spider and a big intelligent man who is behaving like a child. He says he won't live in the house until the spider is caught and is even willing to live on the dresser to avoid contact with it. Didn't see that coming. Although it's easy for us to judge people's actions, it's easy for us to say, just go and catch it. What are you afraid of? But when it comes to action, something like this can happen. The man was spraying some kind of product on the arthropod and thought it was about to lose its strength, but I think that just got the spider angry. It pulled itself together and jumped as hard as it could right at the man. How did it even have the energy to do it? Well, you've had your daily dose of fright. Now I suggest you switch gears and take a look at the rarest and most unusual spiders in the world. Keep watching. It's going to be interesting. Let's start with the peacock tarantula. It can be confidently called one of the most beautiful and rarest tarantulas. The dream of many keepers is to have this species in their collection. One of the main features of the species is the complete absence of irritating hairs. And no, this doesn't mean that it's calm and peaceful. Just the opposite, the tarantula is nervous, aggressive, and incredibly fast. It has one of the most toxic venoms among tarantulas of its family, and among all spiders in general. What do you think of this arthropod? Write what you think in the comments. Heteropoda maxima. I believe that if the Harry Potter story was real, Aragog, the giant spider, would have looked like Heteropoda maxima when it was young. However, we haven't heard of this spider because it prefers to keep itself hidden from people. Heteropoda maxima specifically resides in the depths of the caves and lows and expertly camouflages itself, so it wasn't discovered until 2001. Despite its leg span of up to 12 inches, this species has been able to evade human detection. Fortunately, its venom is not dangerous to humans, but other cave dwellers may not be as lucky. Heteropoda maxima feeds on anything that moves within its reach and size. Its legs have special mechanisms that detect movements, allowing it to catch prey with ease. Trapdoor spider. Hey, I recently came across an interesting spider called Cyclocosmia. It's an arthropod that has a truncated abdomen with patterns and prickly hairs. There are many different names for these spiders, such as printing spider, trapdoor spider, coin spider, money trapdoor spider, and more. They are quite hard to find in the wild since they prefer sandy and clay sandy soils where they can dig vertical burrows that are around 3 to 6 inches deep. The spiders climb into these burrows, which they close with their abdomen like a manhole cover. This process is called phragmosis. The spider pulls out threads of cobweb from the burrow and covers them with sand and dirt, creating a trap for their prey. Their prey is typically smaller animals that are inferior to the spider in terms of size. That's all, guys. Are you afraid of spiders? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you later.